Alright everybody, we've got Desolation map here with Skippy and Neo battling it out. Now Skippy is ranked 14th and Neo is ranked 7th in the predictive rankings for our group. So by the numbers, Neo should take this, but we'll see how this one-on-one goes.
Building the Chinese Empire.
Skippy has got 3 dozers out already. Built 4 buildings. He's got $4,500 left. Neo also spent 6,000 roughly already. Now 7,000. Built 4 units or 5 units and 4 buildings. Neo going for 2 supply centers. He's got his dozer up there. 2 supply Chinooks in the southern supply center, and starting to build barracks. Neo's also gotten himself a drone hanging out over Skippy's base. Skippy also building a second supply center. He's got 3 supply trucks, a normal amount for that, and starting to generate his secondary ones. And it looks like they're starting to send dozers into the center to battle over the center. Neo getting a little bit of a head start with his dozer and starting to build a fire base. And Skippy beginning to build bunkers a little bit further back, and a secondary dozer that's looks like, yeah, waiting for some money for getting started. Got 1,300 and doesn't have enough money yet for being able to build anything major. Now it just has enough for a Gatling cannon. But Neo, with those 3 supply and now 4 supply Chinooks, starting to bring in a little bit more. And building those fire bases. Doesn't look like he's been able to, Skippy's been able to begin garrisoning the initial bunker, and the initial fire base is now starting to attack the dozer, so dozer's going to get started a little bit. He moves to get a Gatling cannon just out of range of the fire bases. It's going to start getting that built. Skippy also starting to build some tank hunters. Looks like he'll be sending them up around the top, or at least garrisoning a bunker. And Neo was able to get that secondary fire base before the Gatling cannon was finished. And now is going to start making some progress on that building. Neo just building a line of defenses here, which is his normal style. 3 fire bases, another 3 fire bases, and a line of troops that are starting to come out like crazy. And he's gotten a 3rd supply Chinook at his southern base, as well as his northern one. And starting to capture some center buildings. Skippy starting to garrison his bunkers here. Was able to discover Neo's stealth drone that was over his base and take that out. And then Neo starting to capture both the repair building and the oil derrick. Skippy continuing to build his defenses here along the front, and has gotten himself a war factory and garrisoning some bunkers. Hasn't gotten to capturing oil derricks yet, and it looks like Neo's fire bases were able to range and get one of the buildings that Skippy was trying to build. Neo has also been able to use those troops to garrison the fire bases. Looks like these 2 center ones have gotten some troops in them, but not yet on these further ones that are in. Skippy continuing with his bunker build and having some troops on the side ready to go in once that's built. Neo now has also been able to start building his strategy center and an airport with the Raptor built. I'm just checking on the resources right now. So Neo, 4,000. Skippy, 3,300. 32 units built for Skip 40 and 24 for Neo. Which is the way it tends to be. China tends to be a little bit more heavy on the infantry, which are cheap and numerous, whereas the US tends to be a little bit less so. And especially Neo's style is spending more money on defenses. And looks like Neo was able to just barely... Oh, this may be an artifact of the replay, but that Gatling cannon probably finished. And not stuck at 100%.
Bombardment.
Neo has also gotten his southern defenses gone, so he's pretty much cleaned up all of the different choke points that would lead into his base. He needs a few missile defenders, though, on the southern portion in order to be able to take out any air that China may send. Joe has started to be able to send Raptors in to start taking out defenses. Starting to make some smaller attacks onto Skippy's defenses over down here. And Skippy continues to build bunkers and Gatling cannons to ward off the air attacks. Comes another round for the Raptors. I just accidentally hit the F button on there for a fast forward. I think we just missed the attack, but not too much else. Neo has also been able to capture the reinforcement pad, gotten a couple of tanks out of that, as has Skippy. Neo starting to go after nuke cannon, but not before the Gatling cannons were able to take out his Aurora. But that nuke cannon was starting to cause an offensive against the fire bases that were there, so was able to obviate that threat. And feat of stealth from this radar van has been discovered from Skippy, or from Neo. So Neo has discovered that and probably has. There, his probe is, his drone is, it's discovered him. It doesn't look like the radar van has been able to detect the drone in compensation. Skippy coming with a little bit of a forward attack now with the numerous upgraded veteran units. Was able to garrison that small building, but not much health on those little grass huts. And the fire bases, he's trying to get in closer, that the fire bases can't have much range on him. It looks like they're going to finish off the troops after the troops took out a couple of the fire bases. Now he was able to garrison that building, but Joe saw it coming and came in with his air. Joe's starting to rebuild his defenses, and he's got 2 Auroras now. Check in on the resources. Skippy with 840, Joe with 3,000. Coming in with the Aurora and a Raptor to guard the area, and sending his second Aurora down to take out another nuke cannon. Not before he loses that Aurora. Those Gatling cannons are pretty deadly against fragile Auroras. Skippy now sending some artillery. Looks like he'll be going after more of the southern defenses. And Neo has begun building a line of supply drop zones in the southern part of the map. as well as building numerous up in the northeast. Now Skippy coming in with a large incursion force into the southern part. He's got free access now to the fire bases and the supply drops that are down there. See what Joe brings into this area. All of the defenses are gone for this part of the map. Not looking good for the $7,500 worth of supply drops that Neo's got going. And Skippy is going to begin capturing supply drops. Skippy, with a number of hackers that are already starting to generate money, he's been able to capture 1 out of the 4 supply drops in the southern part of the map. And looks like Joe has realized that these infantrymen are capturing his base, so he's starting to bring a small line of tanks. Good option, since those minigunners would wreak havoc on any air units that he would try and bring. Looks like he's going to try and use his gunner drones to go after the men, as well as some normal tank shells. Trying to prevent him from stealing the last 2 supply drops. And Skippy sees that he's coming in, probably going to be able to take out the men, but started selling some of those supply drops in it now, but not before getting some deliveries to him. I think that if I were Neo, I would be attempting to run these infantrymen over with my tank. There he goes. Alright, so he's been able to complete that attack from multiple infantry that Skippy sent down to the south, but not before Skippy was able to take out 4 of those supply drop centers that Neo had. So now Neo's got his 2 Auroras. Looks like he's lost a Raptor in amongst his different attacks, and he's got 3 supply drops. He's starting to build a 4th, and building up his forces in order to prevent further attacks, which is coming in from Skippy now. Skippy with a whole bunch of hackers, not quite, oh, there he goes, he just activated them. Hackers are so annoying to have to try and get them to a location, and then you have to specifically tell them to hack before they're able to start generating money. And Skippy's also coming with a nuke cannon, which, if not seen by Joe, is going to be pretty troublesome for his troops that are over there. There it goes. And it looks like he's just bombarding the area in order to prevent people from coming in. Neo sending his Aurora in to take out the supply drop center, try and cripple the resources that Skippy's got coming in. And Skippy is continuing to build this line of his with the healing speaker towers as well as Gatling cannons. Neo continuing to try and build more defenses in the background, and his supply drop center. Let's check in on supplies right now. So Neo's got 3,000 with 34 buildings built and 38 units. And Skippy with 14,000, 100 units, 26 buildings. Quite the stash. So right now, Skippy seems to have a lead on the resources. Good amount of hackers built as well, and continuing to take out multiple Auroras as the Auroras try to take out the supply centers. Good trades on Skippy's part, taking out $2,500 Auroras while Neo is trying to attack those supply drops, or supply centers. Looks like Neo was able to take out the nuke cannon that was there to the south, but not before losing all of his tanks to the multiple defenses that Skippy had. And Skippy bringing in an Inferno cannon now for more attacks on the southern border. Looks like Neo also has a small force of Inferno cannons and nuke cannons in the center, as well as his infantry, and starting to send those long-range units out against the fire bases. And Neo has no further Aurora bombers for his, but he is going to start building some more supply drops because he is hurting for resources. Neo with 3,000, Skippy with 20,000. Those Inferno cannons immediately taking out all of the infantry that were garrisoned and fired the fire bases, and Skippy also using both his nuke cannons and Inferno cannons to destroy the things that are coming in the center to try and defend. Skippy to the south also building up multiple infantry forces as well as his Inferno cannon. And Neo trying to take out that nuke cannon, but not before being taken out by the bunkers. Neo also has a small force of infantry in the back of Skippy's base that looks like maybe a attribute of the replay, but don't seem to be doing anything. But they probably were able to do some damage back there. Inferno cannon starting to take out the central defenses of Neo as well. Neo with 4,700 and near low power, Skippy with 4,500. And it also looks like Skippy is sending a carpet bomb for more damage on those central defenses. Neo coming in with a couple of tanks, trying to take out that nuke cannon. They should be able to succeed, get off 4 or 5 shells, enough to take it out before they get destroyed by the tank hunter. Things are not looking good for Neo right now. Skippy's got 3 main forces, the one large one to the north, one large one to the south, and then a small one in the center. Looks like Neo is rediscovered his troops and is starting to capture buildings in Skippy's base. He's able to take out the propaganda center to reduce those tech units such as Inferno cannon and nuke cannon. He's also taken out a power. We'll see if he'll be able to take out enough power so that the Gatling cannons aren't able to operate. Firebase causing a little bit of damage, splash damage on the infantry that are there to the north. Let's see. Looks like Neo was just able to build another Aurora bomber, and he is building supply drops like crazy in the center of his base. Skippy 12,000, Neo 6,000 right now. Skippy with 4 Inferno cannons, his backup, and a good amount of veteran and elite troops. And looks like he's bringing them in for another push into Neo's northern part of his base. That fire base should fall relatively quickly. Neo sending his Aurora bomber to try and defend. Going after the Inferno cannon. Took out 2 of them with that 1 bomb drop. And it looks like Skippy doing a carpet bomb on those Auroras. That's gonna hurt 5,000 down the drain. Actually more with the strategy center and the airport as well. And Skippy is also coming in to take out the central supply drop depots that Neo's got going. Neo trying to use general powers on the infantry, but they moved before he was able to get the flames in there with the A-10s. Neo has been able to take out the last of the Inferno cannons, though, and now Skippy is just operating with the infantry of about 15 or so. Oh, and here comes Skippy with artillery to take out a whole bunch of the supply drop centers as well. And it looks like those infantry were able to repel the tanks that were trying to take them out. Those elite minigunners are just doing so much damage and able to quickly get their chain guns up to speed. Neo just spent so much money on the supply drops, and now they're not able to get that return on investment that he spent. Skippy with 10,000, Neo with 16,000. Skippy also coming in with a huge number of troop crawlers. This is again not looking good for Neo and his forces. Neo trying to bring in some infantrymen, which are instantly taken out by the minigunners. This really is a little bit of a surprise for this game. Skippy coming in with an excellent playthrough, good economy, good aggression against Neo, and he's just continuing to pour in the troops and take over and demolish all of these buildings. I would not want to send any forces against that. There is just so much veterancy and a combination of normal anti-air, anti-infantry, and anti-armor variety in there. See how quickly they're taking down that command center. Alright, Skippy with 10,000, Neo with 7,000. 99 units destroyed. Skippy has built 257 units and lost 100 of them. Right now it's pretty much just cleanup for Skippy and his forces. He'll have to finish up with these last three buildings up here in the north. Supply center, power reactor, and supply drop. And then he'll have to go for barracks, and finally airport to the south. But for this, for a force of this size, it's really about just the transportation time in order to get to those locations. It should not take very long to actually destroy them. Let's see what kind of damage the fire bases do. There goes one. There goes the dozer. One fire base, two fire bases, three fire bases.
Gunship reporting in.
Neo trying to build a strategy center for maybe some more Aurora bombers. Got 2,400 in the bank left, and an oil derrick that seems to be his sole source of income right now. There's troop trawlers just spewing out veteran units inside of them. Comanche helicopters go down instantly against the anti-air minigunners. Even more troop trawlers coming that got built in the meantime. It'll be quick. And that's it. Congratulations to Skippy.
You are victorious.
Let's take a look at the stats.
Ready for assault.
So Neo technically did have more resources, almost 200,000 versus Skippy's 160, but the small gains that Skippy was able to make against a lot of those central defenses, get those nuke cannons going after the southern supply drop depots, as well as continuing to trade Auroras for supply centers. It just took a lot of the resources out of Neo, it seems, and enough to be able to get some momentum going with all the infantry and just slowly demolish from top to bottom Neo's base. So good job, Skippy. Congratulations on your win for 14 against 7th place, and catch you guys next time.